Good morning, students. So, I think you all have go through the audio which has sent yesterday, which was the first part of 3 questions, page number 10, and today we will read the second part of page number 10 also. So let us see and open your book, page number 10, the last paragraph. Yesterday we have read that the king had gone to the hermit, where he asked him 3 questions, but the hermit did not answer anything, and the king helped him with his work. And the sun sets. At that time a hot person came running towards them. So today, let's start. The king turned around and saw a bearded man running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. The king redressed the wound until at last the bleeding stopped. So, when the hermit said, "Here comes someone running," the king turned around towards the direction which the hermit direct, and saw a bearded man, a man full of beard, running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach. From the stomach there was a great flow of blood. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. Fainted means, write down, fainted means lost consciousness. That means he lost his sense. Removed the man's clothing. The king removed the man's clothing immediately, and he found a large wound in his stomach. Then the king done a primary treatment by washing and covered the wound with his handkerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. Then again the king redressed the wound until at last the blood stopped. The bleeding did not stop. So the king dressed the wound again and again until the bleeding stopped. Next paragraph, page number 11. The man felt better and asked for something to drink. The king brought fresh water and gave it to him. By this time the sun had set and the air was cool. The king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. So, when the man felt better after stopping the flowing of blood, and after refreshed after a refreshed body, the man asked something to drink. Then the king brought some fresh water and gave to the bearded man. After this all activity, the sun had set, and also in the evening time, the sunset time, there was a cool air, you know. So the king and the hermit carried the wounded person to the bed, on which the bearded person fell down or laid down. Then the man closed his eyes and lay quiet. The king, tired by his work and the work he had done, lay down on the floor and slept through the night. So the king had not been worked as he worked on that day. So, you know, a unworking person, a person who doesn't work much more, when he works something more, he felt tired. So the king also felt tired. So he, by getting the cool air of the evening, he laid down on the floor. When he awoke, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man laying on the bed was. So, you know that after a great, what is that, great, after a hard work, when you lay down, you forget all the thing which you have done the before day for some time. So the king, when the king opened his eyes, he cannot remember, he could not remember what he has done the last day. So, after several minutes of opening his eyes, he remembered who was the strange bearded person. After this, forgive me, said the bearded man in a weak voice when he saw that the king was awake. By that time, the bearded person, the wounded person, had opened his eyes, and when he saw that the king awake, he started. What is that? Started a conversation by forgive me. He had a weak voice because he had a wound on the previous day. I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for, said the king. So the king, surprised with the what is that? The words of the bearded person. So he said, I do not know you, and what for? I would forgive you for what? Next paragraph. You do not know me, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you. You do not know me, my lord, but I know you, the bearded person said. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you. Swore means promised to take revenge on you because you put my brother to death and seized my property because of that. What is the cause of taking revenge from the king by the bearded person? Because the king put his brother to death and seized his property. I knew you had gone alone to see that hermit, so by following the king, the bearded person knew that he had gone alone to see the hermit, and I made up my mind to kill you on your return. So I left my hiding place and I came upon your bodyguard, who recognized me and wounded me. So who wounded the bearded person? So my dear students, the bodyguard of the king, and where he had left him, what is that? Several miles before, where he was in that time. At that time, okay. So I escaped from him but I should have died if you had not dressed my wounds. So he felt very sorry. So he said, I escaped from the bodyguard, but he said that he should have died if the king had not dressed his wounds. I wished to kill you, and you have saved my life. Now, if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant, and will order my sons to do the same. Forgive me. So the wounded person said that if I live, I will serve you. What is that? As the most faithful servant of the king till his life, till when he will live on this world. And also he promised that he would say to his child, to his children, like sons and daughters, to serve the king. So please forgive me. So my dear students, for today this much, and the main part, that means the answers of the questions, will be taught in the next class. So till then, be safe, stay home, stay safe. Thank you. Have a nice day.